All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, May 29th. We got game number 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Knicks and the Pacers. In today's video, I'm going to dive into this game. I'm going to give you my prediction on the side. I'll give you my prediction on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props that we like within the game as well. But as always, guys, keep an eye down on the pinned comment of this video. That'll take you to all of my final plays, so I'm actually rolling with myself. If that does interest you, it's absolutely free down in the pinned comment. All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I tell you guys I'm a dummy all the time. They don't suck. They've just been sucking. Get them down to -3 for more juice than Jose Canseco in his prime. Tell me you're new without telling me you're new. So don't go jumping down my throat in the comments, right? If you want to fade me, or if you do want to ride me, this still leaves a bad taste in my mouth, right? And remember, more chins, more wins. In terms of yesterday, a 2-0 night. We'll take the cha-ching. Jalen Williams over 4.5 assists. We had to sweat that one out. But then the one that I really liked was Alex Caruso there under 3.5 boards. He comes through with, I think it was 3 rebounds. So I guess we had to sweat that one out as well. But a 2-0 night. Nice to see that. I will say before we dive into this game number 5, anything that we roll with today, we really haven't had the best of luck in this series. So we'll probably end up throwing out, quarter unit, maybe half unit plays in this game with these plays today. So just keep that in mind. I'll obviously note how many units or what percentage of unit that we're looking at when I do put those in with the final plays. So you will be able to see that, but just kind of a forewarning there. But let's talk about this game. Right now, Indiana is up 3-1. They're still in New York here, right? Which is, I guess you could say back in New York, which is going to be an advantage for the Knicks. I do think that that is a spot in which they play much more comfortably. 30-19 on the season here in terms of, winning at home. But they only covered in 50% of their home games this year, whereas Indiana on the road has actually been a very, very good team, especially from a cover perspective. I think that there was like a 53% cover rate. So the home and away splits do kind of look good for both sides, which I would say puts it at like a net neutral. What I will say is this Knicks team seems like it's got one more in the chamber. Even that last game, like they competed in that one, and Indiana ultimately pulled it out. I think it was 130 to 121. But to me, there was times in which New York's defense looked very, very good. I had even said it. I look like an idiot now. I was like, I don't think that Indiana has another 50-40 game in them in terms of field goal percentage from the floor and from 3. I think that they're more of like a 45-38 type team. And hopefully, if we are leaning towards the Knicks today, which I guess we are, that is what we'll see from Indiana. Now, I've said it multiple times. I'm rooting for this Pacers team because I think that that's great for the parity of the league. I feel like they've been the team that's been dismissed. Never mind the fact that they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year with a banged-up Halliburton. Like, this team deserves a little bit of credit, and me leaning towards the Knicks here doesn't really... I'm not trying to take away that credit or say that the Pacers won't win this series. I could just totally see the Knicks winning this one and then the Pacers closing it out at home in Game 6. You know what I mean? So I just think a little bit of defense from the Knicks will show today. That's going to be reflected in one of our player props as well, and I guess I'm gonna lean towards the under. I might be a psycho, and I'll sound the psycho alert alarm for thinking that this Knicks defense can play well against the makeup of this Pacers team, right? And we've seen this Pacers team score from multiple, score in multiple different ways, I should say. But I don't necessarily think you're going to consistently get this out of Nesmith. Siakam was very good. Halliburton's going to do Halliburton things, but ultimately everyone is stepping up. For one game in this series, I think the Knicks kind of play some defense. And we did see that in game number 3. So simply put, Knicks under based on the Knicks defense. I think that they end up winning this game because of that. And I think that this game probably finishes right around 222, 221, which is very close to that total. But I think that the Knicks defense, if that's going to be their bread and butter, and they say, okay, you know what? We're not going to lose via a bunch of made baskets from this Pacers team. We're at least going to play physical and make it tough for them. It is what it is. It's not exactly the most enticing and analytical breakdown, but it's kind of how I see this game going. All right, guys, got a new tee available in the store, fademe.store. They don't boo nobodies. Has a nice back design as well. Screw the haters. Screw the guppies. They're talking about you for a reason. They don't boo nobodies. Fademe.store or GuyBostonSports.com/store. Take it at the same place. I think I'm more inclined to roll with some player props, though, in this spot. So before we do talk about the player props, why don't I throw a gimme at you? A gimme over on Underdog. Tyrese Haliburton, 0.5 points. Even me saying I think this Knicks team is going to play decent defense today, and I don't think the Pacers keep up this shooting, Tyrese Haliburton can go 1 of 25 from the floor, and he's still going to get his 1 point that he needs with this square. So go ahead and check it out, guys. You're also going to get a deposit bonus up to $1,000, which is absolutely crazy. Check out Underdog. That link will be down in the description as well as the pinned comment, whichever one is easiest for you. Or sign up using code GUYBOSTON. You'll get all the same perks. They have a ton of promos available in the app as well for MLB, for WNBA, for these playoff games. Like really, really cool stuff, guys. If you've been thinking about signing up for Underdog, and you're like, I don't really know, just try it, guys. You get a great deposit bonus. You get a free square. Go ahead and check it out. This is one of the fastest, quickest, and easiest ways to get more action in on the game. I've been loving Underdog since using it, and new customers can get that and take advantage of it today. Go ahead and check it out. 2 player props that I like as of right now, and as always, guys, if we do add anything to the mix, I will give a little blurb on the final plays as to why I like it. First off, we're going right back to the scene of the crime. Pascal Siakam under 21.5 points. I like this for a couple different reasons. First and foremost, I don't think that he is the best matchup, offensively for this spot. He did have 30. We did take his under last game, so that's kind of tough to see. But ultimately, against this Knicks team, he's not really been that great. He has these big games, but dating back to, again, earlier this year, and I used the same argument for last game, and he scored 30, so whatever, but 12, 14, 24, 17, 39, 17, 30. He's undebatably had a good series, but what he's done is meh game, really good game, right back down to meh. Really good game last game. I expect the Knicks, again, to kind of realize that that's a guy that can hurt them and not necessarily let him score all that easily. He shot like 75% from 3 in that game, right? It was 3 of 4. He shot 52% from the floor. I don't necessarily even see him shooting 21 times again today. I would say Haliburton and Siakam are 2 guys that the Knicks are going to say, hey, if you're going to beat us today, it's not going to be by way of your 2 best scorers. You know what I mean? Maybe we see like a Nesmith good game again and Miles Turner have a good one, but I think there's going to be a lot of emphasis with Bridges and Anunoby on stopping Siakam. Maybe get some Hart minutes as well, but I think Anunoby's got one task and one task only today. If I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm saying do not let their second best player get going, because Haliburton has the usage and the ball, and he's just going to have the quantity in the minutes, right? Haliburton will probably have a good game, especially in a closeout game. It's going to be all on him, coming off of a really big performance. I get it. But to me, Siakam is kind of that key piece, right? If he goes for 30 on you, you might as well sign, seal, deliver. You get a win because you're going to get 25 from Haliburton, or 20 from Haliburton, I should say, 35, 30 from Siakam, combine them for, 50 to 55. It's like, that's going to be tough because you'll pour in some little ancillary buckets from Turner, Shepard, Nesmith, Nembhard, that type of thing. So, putting a lot of emphasis here on the Knicks defense, specifically on Siakam. I will throw in this next play is kind of based on the fact that Towns is banged up. Now, Towns is listed as a game time decision. Do we really expect him to not play? I doubt it. This could be the last game of the year. He's got a little bit of a knee injury. If he doesn't play, that is such a bad look on him. So I do expect him to play. But what we now know is that it may not be at the 100% Towns that we know. And if he's got a knee injury that he's nagging, I'm sure when he gets the ball, that knee will feel just fine, right? But when it's going to kind of give him some trouble and mentally and all that, might be on the board. So I'm going to go Josh Hart over 8.5 rebounds. What this really will ultimately end up coming down to is the idea of still making sure that Josh Hart is going to get the minutes, which has been the case, right? Even off the bench, he played 34 and 36 minutes. So we want him to get those minutes and keep up with these rebound chances. This series alone, 22, 15, 14, 19 rebound chances. To the power forward position this year, Indiana allowed the 5th most rebounds, and we've already seen him, in this series average, pretty damn good, you know what I mean? And he's also averaged, just dating back to last year, I want to say, against this Pacers team, averaged almost 11 rebounds per game. So 13, 10, 11 were his hits. He didn't hit it with the 6 rebound game, but he still had 15 rebound chances in that game. So he's a guy that converts his rebound chances. He could have even had in that game. So I like Josh Hart here over 8.5 rebounds. There could be a world in which we do a same game parlay or something like that. In fact, comment SGP down in the comments if you guys would like that idea, because I think Josh Hart for like 6+, maybe looking at Halliburton for 20+, Brunson for these types of knocking all these lines down, getting more action on the game, but obviously for a lower cost because of the alternate line, I think could have some potential in this game, because a couple of these lines, even for Halliburton, like I said, right? Like I think Halliburton's going to have a good game, but his line's now at 22.5. You know that Jalen Brunson's not going to go down without a fight. His line's at 31. Like, yeah, some of these are a little bit too high, but obviously kind of fit the bill. So, yeah, keep an eye on the final plays, guys. We might be throwing in a same-game parlay. We'll post it on Instagram as well, so make sure to follow me. That Instagram has been popping up right here throughout the show. EvPicks, picks with a Z. But that's all I have for you guys. Again, this is, at this point in this series, it's kind of coming from a feel perspective, which I don't necessarily love. But we only have, 3 teams left now in the playoffs. So numbers, as much as we love them here and using our dashboards and whatnot, at some point watching these games is going to bode well for you, more so than being like, oh, well, the Pacers are allowing the 4th most points in the paint in the playoffs. It's like, well, there's 4 teams. 4th could be still pretty good because you're only 4 teams. So I don't know. It's getting tough, but obviously we expect that with the NBA playoffs, right? At least they've been absolutely electric from a fan perspective. We can all say that, right? But that's all I have for you guys in this one. We'll catch you guys in the next one, right? Peace out.